Hey, I'm Leah Orleans. I'm a professional acrobat and touring comedian, and I have type 1 diabetes. And I'm going to answer the AMA questions that you asked about this illness. Now, please know that this is not medical advice. I am not a doctor, I'm an acrobat, but I'm going to be honest with you about my personal experience. Please talk to your doctor or visit diabuddies.org for more information about this illness. We're going to dive right in. About a week ago, I posted this video where I asked the internet what their questions are about diabetes, and now I get to answer them. How much does diabetes impact your daily life, and how much does it stop you from doing, and what does it stop you from doing? And do you have type 1 or type 2? Great question, let me tell you. I have type 1 diabetes. They are completely different illnesses. Type 1 means that my body's not making insulin, which helps you take the sugar out of your blood. Type 2 means that you're still producing insulin, but you have too much sugar in your blood from diet or lack of exercise to be able to work with the hormones that your body is already producing. That means that my body doesn't metabolize the way it should naturally. What this stops me from doing is mostly eating what I want when I want. I have to be conscious all the time of when I'm eating sugar specifically or a high carb food. So pizza, pasta, cake, cookies, any kind of sweet food, especially sweet liquids, anything that will absorb it quickly into my blood has to be very strategically eaten in relation to when I inject insulin. So I give myself insulin, which then allows me to eat the foods that I want so that the insulin can kick in and I can be my own pancreas. I've made the conscious choice to not let it stop me from doing what I want to do. I still travel full time, I perform shows all over the world, but it's really important for me to keep my health top of mind. How do you deal with your really high highs and your really low lows? This is a great question. My high highs, which means my blood sugar is too high, usually I'll get a notification on my Dexcom app, which looks like this, and then I will give myself insulin, and then I'll wait, usually about 30 minutes for the insulin to kick in, and the high will go down, and then I'll be back in range, hopefully, if I gave myself the right amount of medication. When I have a low, I'll take a juice box. Then I'll be able to get high again, not like that high, but my blood sugar gets to be higher again because of how quickly sugar will go into my blood when it's in liquid form. How do you combine your diabetes with shows? What if you suddenly go low or high during them? Great question. I'll check my blood sugar every time before I go on stage. I'll keep an eye on it during a show day. It's not something that I just forget about even when I'm working. On a fair day, in real life, I have a juice box with me on stage at all times. If I start to feel low, I'll just take that juice box and drink it right on stage. I don't care. It's important to me to be able to continue doing the show, even if I'm not feeling okay. Usually I can feel it too. I can start to feel a little shaky, a little extra sweaty in a way that's not comfortable. It kind of feels like a rush of anxiety. I usually feel the tingles start in my feet and it kind of works its way up the body. Every diabetic is different, but oftentimes after years of understanding this illness, we can start to feel when we're low and why. Can you pass away from diabetes or can you live with it with a full life? That's a sad and good question. You can literally die from diabetes if it's not maintained. But when I got diagnosed, my endocrinologist said to me, and this was really, really weird, but he was right, there's never been a better time to have diabetes. My little just diagnosed heart could barely take hearing that, but it's true. And what he means by that is that there is more technology than ever before. So the likeliness of a fatality because of type 1 diabetes is a lot lower than it was 10, 20, or 30 years ago. So that's the good news. But the bad news is it's still a life-threatening illness. If you go low and it's not treated and you're too low for too long, you can essentially slip into a coma. If you're too high for too long, you go into what's called DKA, or diabetic ketoacidosis, which means that your blood kind of ferments into wine because there's too much sugar in it, and it essentially pickles your organs. I know this sounds really extreme and hyperbolic, but it's important to keep an eye on your blood sugar daily as you go through life as a type 1 diabetic. But also, these fatalities don't just happen instantly. I'm not going to suddenly fall over and be unconscious if I go a little bit low. These things have to happen over time. And that's one of the hard parts about diabetes, is that you're controlling your ups and your downs so that you have kind of a roller coaster of a life. We don't want to have these high lows and high extremes. The more stable your roller coaster can be, the longer you'll probably live. How exactly are the glucose monitors attached? Apparently, I'm at high risk of developing. That's a great question. This is a CGM. It's a continuous glucose monitor. This is a G7 made by Dexcom, and I have a video right here on how I put one on. What are your thoughts on the healthcare system in the USA as you have a terminal illness? That. It's absolute garbage and I hate it. It's an ongoing storm of struggle every single day. I am battling the healthcare system. It is absolutely the worst part of having diabetes. The healthcare system. The inability to access easy healthcare. My ability to get the medication I need. How expensive it is. I hate it all. What are your favorite ways to decorate your monitor if you're able to? Ooh. Your monitor can stay on alone, but I usually use what's called an overpatch, which is essentially made out of K-tape or kinesiology tape. These ones are made by Rockadex, and I love them because they're little gay rainbow stripes. But they come in all different patterns and colors, and it's just like a stretchy athletic tape, and they go right over your monitor, and they help your monitor last longer. So these are my favorite. I also learned that you can take any K-tape and cut out any shape you want. So for the tiny show, I made a custom star glucose monitor patch so it could match the rest of the show. I just cut this out of tape and now it's a little souvenir I can hang on my wall. My biggest question is, how did you know? As a caretaker, I'm trying to do the best for myself and who I'm in charge of. Knowing what to look for is important. I'm proud of you. Wow, thanks, Catherine. That's very nice. And that's also a really good question. I was undiagnosed for about a year until we realized what it was. I was diagnosed in November of 2023, but my symptoms started in November of 2022. So I have what's called latent autoimmune diabetes in adults, which means I have type 1 diabetes, which will be with me forever, but it kicked in later in life. A lot of autoimmune diseases will kick in later in life, like lupus or POTS, and diabetes is also one of them. It doesn't get as much press as juvenile diabetes, but it doesn't mean it's not as prevalent. Here are some of the symptoms to look out for. I was peeing all the time, like constantly, and I'm talking like fire hose water pressure, like a crazy amount of urine coming out of my body. I don't know why I'm doing this hand motion for this. And as a result, I was also thirsty all the time, insatiable thirst. I was getting yeast infections constantly, TMI, sorry, but it's true. I was hungry like crazy. I was losing a ton of weight even though I wasn't exercising anymore. I was exhausted and then suddenly had a lot of energy. I was angry for no reason. I was breaking out a lot. I had skin issues. And the biggest thing is that I was losing my vision. I was getting blurry vision for no reason, giant vision changes, and extreme light sensitivity in ways that I could not function. It was really hard to do shows and really, really painful. I went to an optometrist and they didn't really know what was wrong with me. I went to a gynecologist and they didn't know what was wrong with me. All of these different specialty doctors were treating my symptoms instead of looking at the big picture until I went and got my blood checked. And that's why it's extremely important to get regular blood work. What you want to get tested is an A1C test. It doesn't just check your blood at that moment, but it looks over the past 3 months and gives you a general sense of where your blood sugar is at. And if you have type 1 diabetes, you will know with that one test, along with a whole bunch of other tests. But it's a great place to start. Does your blood sugar spike when you see Chloe? It doesn't work like that, but I do feel a little sweeter. Where's the Diabetes Pride merch? Our house wants to represent the struggle too. This is our tiny dead pancreas pin. I'm very excited about it. It also has a locking back so that you can keep your diabetes pin forever, just like you can keep your diabetes forever. Holy hell, the strength of you amazes me. Thanks. I cry a lot. Can we talk about how annoying it is when the CGM wakes you up for a low? Yeah, it's annoying as f***. How true is it that the diabetes is just a result of eating too much sugar? That's type 2 diabetes. I have type 1 diabetes. They should be called different illnesses, really. I think type 1 diabetes should be called something like insulin resistance club party society. When did you know you needed insulin? When should someone experiencing second onset diabetes talk to their doctor? As soon as possible. I would go see an endocrinologist. That is a metabolic doctor that's there to help you talk about how your body digests food. Those are the people that have the knowledge of diabetes to help you decide whether you need insulin or not. Those are also the only doctors that can prescribe insulin. A general practitioner can't just write a prescription for insulin, which makes it really hard for people to get the access that they need. So go find an endocrinologist. This goes along with safe words and consent, but being intimate with someone for the first time. If I do this, then you need to do this. Yeah, usually before I'm intimate with someone for the first time, I give them the download of the fact that I have a chronic illness that might set off an alarm during a fun time. I try to be really honest about this illness because it's super important that everyone around me knows what I'm going through. I try to also be very responsible for my own illness. In my bag at all times, I have a juice box. And that makes sure that I am able to get what I need when I need it as soon as possible. I also stay responsible. I'm checking my number. I'm making sure that my Dexcom is still on and ready to go. That level of responsibility is exhausting, but it's what keeps me safe. I have definitely had to stop fun times because of diabetes. It's awkward, but it's less awkward than passing out. Also, if you're with someone who doesn't like the fact that you have to deal with your chronic illness, you shouldn't be with that person. There's so many amazing questions, I can't answer them all, but thank you so much for asking these. Finding such a strong community online of other diabetics helps me feel courageous and powerful to handle this illness. So keep commenting, keep asking, like and subscribe, and I am so happy to share more with you.